Okay, good morning, everyone. Go ahead, Sunshower. You'll have to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted and I hope everybody's here and happy on this Monday morning, the day after St. Patty's Day. Wow. So isn't it fun to be here all together? This LifeWave tribe is so cool. Wouldn't you agree? Nod of heads. Yes. And we have great fun listening to each other as we tell our stories. How in the world are you using, especially X39? We're going to talk about X39 in the first 15 minutes. And we'd love you to raise your hand so that we can see that you'd like to say your story about how it was before you used the patch and about how long you used it, where you put it, and how you're feeling now. So of course we want to stay compliant because we're not going to name any diseases. We know that. So we'd like you to stay brief, bold. You have to be bold to do this, right? You're in front of all these folks. Today we have about 75. It'll probably increase because this is a very growing, thriving business. And we love to have you all here. So please keep it brief, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds, so that the next person can have their turn. So with that, who would like to be the first person? Come on, let's be bold. If you don't, you're going to hear my smeller story. All right, Allie, go for it, girl.
This is a short one. The other night I bit into a raw beet, which I frequently do, and what was wrong? It burned my throat so badly. And I took yogurt, I took kefir, nothing made it stop. And then I thought, I'm going to take off the X39 and move it over to where I'm hurting. And I did and stopped hurting in 5 minutes.
It's a miracle.
We love this is our miracle call. Wow, miracle that science, miracles, science, miracles. Okay, who do I see as a Zoom user? Would that be our John? He's driving. Yeah.
Yes, I am. Hi, Sunshine. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of my ongoing story of my tooth story. My tooth about 3 months ago was really loose, and I was kind of concerned that it had to be removed. So I made a dentist appointment. I went in, and they said, "Yeah, we're gonna have to remove this tooth. It's infected, and it's gonna cost you about." I couldn't believe it. They would have to put a bridge in. It's going to be about $5,000. And I said, okay, well, thanks. I thought about it. And then I thought that what LifeWave and my X39 is about is healing from within. And I figured that's the way I'm going to go. And very shortly thereafter, I was putting the X39 in strategic spots, and my tooth started getting stronger. It wasn't wobbling anymore. And today it's as good as my original teeth. It's amazing that I didn't have to do all the stuff that the dentist told me, and the X39 took over.
Well, tooth stories. That's a good, we don't have tooth stories all that often. So let's hear some more about tooth stories. Anybody been to the dentist lately? So thanks so much. And you can put your hand down now, John, and let's go to Adele.
Good morning. Well, I'll share a quick one. It wasn't what I was going to say, but I have a son who's 35, and he called me one day and he said, "Mom, I'm in so much pain. I missed work." My boys never miss work. They've always been pretty healthy. And he was whining about this tooth in this area of his face. And I can't say the name of it, but it's a nerve issue and it's horrible. And he'd been to the dentist, he'd been to the endodontist, and the endodontist was sending him to a neurologist. Well, as his mother, that was very frightening. And I said, "Do you have any of those X39s left?" And he goes, "Yes." So we got home, he put one on that area of his face, just where the dentist couldn't figure out what tooth it was. That was part of the problem. So they knew it was more involved than just a tooth. But anyway, and it was. He puts it on and he didn't call me back. He called his little brother and he said, "Hey, Chan, you know those stickers Mom gave us? They're freaky." In 6 seconds, the pain was gone. Gone. He'd been miserable for days. And then I asked him, we talked about it later, and he told me he called his brother. And then he said, a few weeks ago, it came back. One time he stuck another X39 on it and it was gone. So remarkable, just remarkable. We wear these, wearing them on our neck. We can move them anytime, just like John said. So it's amazing. I have more stories, but I'll let someone else go and I'll come back.
And it's fun. Thank you so much, Adele. That kind of reminds us about being consistent, wearing our patches. My smeller story. I never could smell my whole life. Wear the patches consistently for 2 years. Now I can smell. So there's instant and then there's consistent.
And I've had both. Yes, you're right.
Yes,
We're so
indeed.
blessed to have these
Yeah.
on the
and
back of our neck.
back of the neck, under the belly button. Like my shoulder was hurting lately, I put it here, and then I was guided, no, now put it here. So, just experiment, you guys. That's part of this deal. We don't need to rely on our doctors. I mean, let's it's something catastrophic. Then all we need is a diagnosis, then we just patch. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Adele. How about Orla?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 86 and I've been on the patches now about 7 months. But back when I was on about 5 months, I have a condition where I fall a lot. And I fell and fractured my sacrum. And someone told me that a lot of people who wore the patches, within 9 months it was healed. And I thought it was a likely story. But 14 days later, I had no pain and I was in so much pain up until that day. It really surprised me. So the next day I didn't either. Well, that week I had an appointment with my orthopedist to check it out, and he went in. I said, "Well, I'm healed," and he said, "You can't be." He said, "It takes 7 to 8 months, 6 to 7 months to heal." I said, "Well, I'm healed," and he said, "No, history shows that it takes 6 to 7 months. I mean, weeks." So anyway, he said, "Let's look at your X-rays." So I looked at my X-ray, and he said, "Well, it's a poor X-ray." He said, "If you need me, give me a call." And he walked out of the room. Well, anyway.
Isn't that fabulous? We have the greatest stories. Are you guys inspired? Nod, yes, do things like this. Do some reaction, do some love, and give love to these people that are so bold to tell their stories. Ravel, I'd love to hear yours.
Thanks, Sunshara Rose. This is aligned with your comment about doctors, and it really underlines the importance of X39 and starting with it. A friend of mine of, I guess, 14 years now, when the patches found her, she was having a hard time even getting out of her house and walking to her mailbox. And her husband had excruciating pain. He would sometimes writhe on the floor in pain. And over the 3 years they've been using the patches, she didn't start with X39, but she got a scare and started with X39 about a year in. And right now she was able to, thanks to the advice of David Schmidt, who created X39, a couple of other points that he had made, she was able to dissolve her plaque in about 6 to 9 months. She and her cardiologist fired each other. She's off all pharmaceuticals, and her husband's pain is really manageable now. It's just reduced dramatically. So grateful to X39, and it's great to be here.
It's great to have you, Ravel. And Ravel is, one of our most consistent leaders. She has lots of stories. She has a lot of people that she leads and introduces to LifeWave. So it is kind of, incumbent upon us. I feel like we do a disservice to people if we don't mention what we have a hold of here. This is quite a movement towards light technology, wouldn't you say? No, yes. Okay, Chris, please unmute.
Hello, everybody. So I have a friend that did some paint work for me, and I gifted him a set of X39 patches. And he's been dealing with ankle issues for years now. He had some work done on his one ankle. They put some hardware in it. And after using the patches, he's starting to get some relief. He says that his wife no longer has to massage his ankles after a long day. So that's a plus for him. And looks like he's going to be signing up and getting some patches for himself. So.
Gosh, I wonder why.
I wonder
Well,
why too.
that's taking ownership. You know, that's another part of this, isn't it? It's like, it's not enough to just play around with it. Tell people. Thanks so much, Chris. Good one. Stacy, please. Can't hear you.
Can't can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good morning. Almost 4 years ago is when I started using the X39. I used it on my, well, just on the back of my neck because I had really bad feet problems and I could barely walk, barely stand for more than 2 minutes at a time. So over time, it was getting better. I was getting stronger. And about 3 weeks into it, it was a Saturday morning, and I decided, well, let me just not put an X39 on this morning. So I was going around my day and I was like, why am I so upset? Why am I so sad? I'm using a different word. Why am I so sad? And I'm like, you know what? For the last 3 weeks, I have actually been happy. So I went back to my room and I slapped an X39 on the back of my neck. And not long after that, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, I was feeling, I had more motivation and more happiness back into my life. And so a couple of weeks ago, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was a Saturday and Sunday. I didn't put an X39 on, and that morning I think I just got busy. So now we're into 3 days. And by that afternoon, that sadness came back. It's something that I have dealt with all my life. So I'm like, I need to continue. I mean, I didn't plan on stopping using them, but I'm like, I have to use these regularly, consistently, because it does help the thoughts and everything in my mind, and the sadness stays away. So
What a blessing.
What a blessing. It is.
Thank you so much, Stacy. Okay, do we have Orla back? Oops, can't hear you, dear.
So if you need someone else to share, I can share another one.
Go
Can you
for
hear
it.
me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, speak a little louder, please.
All right. Is this better?
Yes.
I have a friend who came over one of the times when I fell to bring dinner for me. While she was here, she says, Orla, I've got to go home. My back hurts so bad. And I said, well, where does it hurt? And she showed me, and I went and got an X39, put it on there. And a few minutes later, she says, oh, it's all gone. But she stayed some more. That was her.
And who's that behind you? Is that Roger?
Yes, that's Roger.
Hi, Roger. Welcome, welcome. Oh, goody. Thank you so much. Great story. And now let's go on to Mara Ava. Please mute Mara. Oh, not Mara. Sorry.
Hi,
Yeah.
can I start with other patches as well?
Well, we're 14 minutes into it. I'll give you permission. Go for it.
Thank you. Okay, so my mom is 88 and 12 days ago she had total hip replacement surgery because she had bone on bone. And prior to the surgery, she's been on X39, Eon, and glutathione, and she's on her 5th month. The day after her surgery, she was up walking with a walker, walking all the way down the hall with the physical therapist. And by day 6, no pain whatsoever. And it's truly, truly a miracle. Like no pain, nothing. By her 6th day.
Mara Ava, tell us where the patches were placed. Which was where?
I had her do X39 and Eon on the right hip where she had the surgery, and the glutathione below her belly button. But then we would switch around. Sometimes I do it on her lower back, or then I would do maybe the X39 on the other hip. So I did a lot of different protocols. And I went on the video with Dr. Karen.
Yes.
And she does, she has the one on hip pain. So I would do a lot of different protocols, kind of vary it. But she barely even, my sister, who's a nurse, gave her Tylenol maybe 2 days, and that was it.
Wow.
So, and she's walking as if we're walking. She's not even using a walker anymore. She's barely even using the cane. I walked her down to her mailbox the other day, which is not a quarter mile, maybe eighth of a mile.
Wow.
Fine. Perfect.
Love it. And I think you're referring to Dr. Karen Kahn, Kahn, Doctor.
Yes.
And so you'll see her on our YouTube channel. You know, sometime in the past, she made a whole bunch of videos that explain the hows and wheres and the protocols. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All
Yeah,
righty.
truly miracle and the science.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. Our favorite, Anne Moreau, please.
Hi. Well, I have a lot of stories that I could share. In 3.5 years, I've been exposed to lots of people, but my most recent one is a neighbor that lives in my neighborhood who has a condition where the muscles deteriorate over time, and she's lost some function already with her legs and arms. And she came to a dinner last week and she started the patches, and just within a 48-hour period, she's noticing much more mental clarity. And she said the one huge thing for her is her legs have been cold for a long time. And she says, I'm always feeling how cold they are. And she said, my legs are warm. I'm feeling the warmth. So she's very excited to start this journey. And she's going to use the tracker to really keep track of her changes. And I think we're going to see some really powerful changes over time. So it's pretty exciting to watch this.
It is truly fascinating and so enheartening for us. You know, we have like 115 people on. We started with like 74 people this morning. And, you know, the word is spreading and it is up to us to do so. And I love the fact that you have groups over and you guys share. That's what's so inspiring, is even in person, you'll see results right in front of your eyes. Fabulous story. Thank you so much, Anne. Okay, we have 4 more folks and then we'll see where we go from there. Pamela, please, you're next.
Well, I'm with my cousin and we're in Florida, and she doesn't know about the patches, and she just told me that she feels like there's constipation. So I'm thinking an X39 below her belly button. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
Let me think. I'm thinking Eon. What do you think, Gregory? Yeah, Gregory's nodding. Because Eon relaxes things, so that may be a ticket.
I'd also say glutathione.
I was just going to say glutathione too. And just, you know, play with the placement, you know, play with that. Even a 1/4 inch could make a difference. Don't give up.
Okay. Should I put an X39 on the back of her neck and then place the others? Where should I place them?
That's an experiment, right, Gregory?
Okay.
And Anne? Yeah, it's an experiment. My feeling is, I mean, it's just a hunch, but is to kind of do a triangulation in the area. Yeah, that Anne is nodding yes. And which way in the triangle would be a guess? Do you have an
I put the X39 2 fingers below the belly button and put the other 2 on each side to create that triangle in that lower abdominal region.
Mm-hmm. There
Thank
you
you
go.
so much. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, Pamela. All right,
Bye-bye.
Michelle, please.
Good morning, Sunshower.
Morning.
Hey, Sunshower, that's such a powerful story about your smell.
Yeah.
No, that's really powerful, because I have someone in my group who had a congenital heart condition and it took her 2 years. So I understand that. But I want to ask you a question. Along with the X39, what other patches were you wearing?
Well, you know, different things for different situations, different days. But the thing I was most consistent with was the X39, typically on my C7, right back here.
Okay, sure. Okay, thanks so much.
You're
Great
welcome.
job. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You bet. Okay, and Jonathan, please.
Hi. Thank you, Sunshower. So I got so much about me, but I shared it with a lady that I go to church with. She uses a cane and she had fallen a few times for whatever reason. She's in her late 70s, I believe. And I shared it with her and she tried it and then she ordered the X39. And now every once in a while I see her, she has her cane on her arm, and you should see the pep in her step when she's walking. I was like, praise God, that's a wonderful thing. Amen.
Thank you, brother. All righty. How about, oh, I can hardly see your name, Nuribarb. Nuribarb.
Nutrabarb.
Oh, I couldn't see the T. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Nutra, because I became a holistic nutritionist in 2005 in Toronto, Canada. One of the hardest but most amazing courses was the endocrine system. And that is 3 parts, and it's like a 3-pronged stool: the adrenals, the hormones, and the thyroid. And what I always knew from that course was that the adrenals were the number one thing to deal with in order for the other 2 to function properly, because hormones are constantly changing. It's impossible to really know what hormone you need. But if you get the adrenals in shape, then the thyroid and the all the other things fall into place, and your stool is secure, your balance is secure. So for the last 20 years almost, I've been really trying to find the best way to deal with the adrenals. Everybody's got stress, especially what we've been through in the last 4 years. So 2 weeks ago, I moved to a house in a little town called Meaford near Collingwood, Ontario, while the family goes to Australia for a year to build a bridge. And their animals, a dog and a cat, have been left behind, and I brought my dog and cat. And the other day I was needing to take my grandchildren home, and it meant leaving the animals for at least 4 or 5 hours. And I just was really worried about the dogs and leaving them for that long. So I put an Aeon patch on both of them. And honest to gosh, I came back and they could barely, like, they're going, oh, you're back. Okay, whatever. They had had such a relaxing time. And I, of course, put one on myself and the X39. I'm really, really grateful to know that the stress, and it's a little scary. I'm 5 acres in the middle of nowhere. And I put my Aeon patch at night, and I am quite lucky to be here and have these patches. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Nutribarb. And I appreciate the way you say Aeon. That's very Canadian of you. I'm Canadian too. And my dad was Aussie, so we have some stuff in common. There's people from all over the world using these patches. I mean, they should all be here. What? We only have 116. We should have 100,016.
That's it. One of the boys who was going to Australia, it was a 30-hour trip, and he had fractured his spine just a month ago on a ski hill in Collingwood. And I patched him up so that he could get to Australia to be with his family. And he said he was so grateful for that. So that's another little part. So.
Just amazing. Just amazing. Hey, Cameron, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much. Okay, so I have a lot of testimonials, and I'm going to start sharing over the coming weeks. 2 of them I'd like to share quickly. First one, my friend Sandra and her husband John. They live in Canada, and they come down here 3 months a year. They live in my community 3 months of the year. They're like my surrogate parents. So Sandra has had bone on her knee for 10 years. She had an accident 12 years ago, and it never healed. And that was when she was 68. She's 80 now. And so as soon as she got down here, January 15th, she started wearing the X39, X49, and then we placed the glutathione and the Aeon right on both sides of her knee. And after 3 weeks, she was like, she's like, you're not going to believe this, but I'm walking more than I've ever walked in 10 years. And now fast forward to 6 weeks, and she walked probably a mile into town and back, and she's just completely amazed at the recovery so far.
Fabulous.
And so for myself, I have my own really strong personal testimony. I've been wearing the X39, X49 for 4 months, 4.5 months now. I had a tear in my stomach muscle right on the right side of my groin. So I had that for 14 months. And I met a couple of surgeons last year, and I didn't have confidence that I wanted either one of them to perform surgery. And so I got referred by 2 American doctors that are retired and live down here where I live. They both referred me to the same surgeon. I met him. I felt confident, had the surgery 3 weeks ago, supposed to have the stitches in for 2 weeks. And I went for a follow-up in 9 days. And the surgeon was like, wow, you're healing really quickly. And so I asked him, I suggested that I think you need to take the stitches out today. And he's like, oh no, they need to stay in for 2 weeks. And I said, well, maybe have a closer look. And he did, and he was amazed. He said he's never seen any healing like this ever before. And so needless to say, I'm having a 1-month follow-up with him at the end of this month. And he is going to purchase the patches for his clients. That's what he had communicated to me on a message. And so that's a really good testimonial for me. So I've been documenting, taking photos. I feel great. I still have a little bit of pain in the surgery area, but feeling much better. And I have one quick question. Can I ask a question as well?
Okay.
Okay. Can anyone recommend what patches I would like? Do I put patches specifically over the scar? I have multiple patches. I have all the patches, so I can use any one of them.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of people here that could answer that, but I'm pretty sure the answer would be X39. And you can line them up on the scar, depending on how you can pancake them. But am I right, everybody? X39, yes.
And carnosine. Amazing for
Carnosine.
tissue repair.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I do have 2 Alavitas that I slept with, and I'm going to take off soon. I put those right over the scar as well. But if carnosine and X39 is more recommended, I'll do that.
Yeah, but maybe your surgeon guy will be one of our health practitioners on one of our calls coming up.
Absolutely. He's a super guy. I've started to develop a friendship with him, and I already have 3 referrals of people that also are walking around with the same issue that I've had and haven't been able to feel confident to get the operation. So yes.
Good job, Cameron. Take charge. All righty. I think that we're ready to wrap this up and have Gregory tell us what's going on for this evening and the rest of the week. Thanks so much, everybody.
Adele, it seemed like you were trying to say something. Were you trying to say something here?
Only to Cameron, and I just put it in the notes. I would keep up the Alavita. That's always a great choice for skin, of course. And then if there's pain, we know Eon, of course. So that's all.
Great.
Thank you.
Oh, what a beautiful call. Isn't this a wonderful way to start our week and inspire us to go out and spread the good news? As I've often said, X39 does everything except talk and walk, and that's our job. So as Judy likes to say, just keep on patching. And it's a sense of obligation, and it's such a blessing for so many people. And we're so blessed to be messengers of that blessing. So tonight, I think we have one of our new directors going to be sharing with us that, they're always like getting success tips from our rising stars, new directors. Also, we're going to get some updates on our March manager matching bonus program that's going on in full swing. Things are starting to click, and so Robin and I have put up $10,000 that we're putting up to the first 100 managers, and they're sponsoring upline managers for a matching bonus program. And if you haven't heard about that, you can just go to Live Younger Success into the what's new section, the last section over on the right, and read all about it. And tonight we'll be talking about it, and we'll have some other cool stuff to share with you. So I just thank everyone. Thank you, Sunshower. You do such a great job. Ready or not, here you were. So thank you. So if everyone would like to unmute and say farewell, is a good time to do that. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Greg.
All right.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Sunshine, you're a natural.
Thank you. Really
Thank
cool.
you.
Everybody. Great stories. Love
Another
it.
great one. Thank you
Uh,
so much. It was all fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, there's Christina.
The best.
Everyone,
Great job. Woohoo.
happy Monday. See
You
y'all.
too, Gregory.
Woo!